Hello, Sagittarius. This is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing. Happy New Year. Hopefully you are all doing well and you enjoyed the holidays with your family and friends. You made it through all the hustle and bustle and have now arrived to teen because it is here. Go ahead and pat yourselves on the back. You made it. It has not been easy. We've gone through a lot of stuff to get here, but you have made it. So congrats, Saggies. Now, if you'll notice on the table, there are these lovely little gift boxes. When I was buying decor to decorate the table for you, the angels were telling me to get these little gift boxes. And they were telling me it's because 19 is a gift. And we will find as we start to go into this year, even starting off in the first month, I mean, it's going to be, for most of us, going to be kind of like a conclusion of some stuff, but then it's going to be bam, straight into these blessings and these things we've been working so hard to receive, to have manifest. So we are going to be receiving these gifts, these blessings. Finally, we've been waiting so long. So we're finally here. So congrats. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. Let me make sure this is recording. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Big thanks to everyone who has made donations recently. Lisa, Meredith, Cindy, Darnisha, and everyone that's made donations. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot to me that you would be donating, especially during the holidays when we're all putting our money elsewhere. It helps me personally. I know I'm going through transitions just like the rest of you. So the fact that you would be so gracious to make the generous donations, I really appreciate it. Thank you for that. And a massive thank you to everyone who has been with me through teen. Your patience has been awesome. Thank you for your subscriptions, liking the channel, supporting me, supporting others. Your kindness, I appreciate it. We've made it through teen. For those of you that have been here since the beginning, you all rock. Now, we're about to have some amazing stuff coming our way because we have made it together through teen, and wowza, we have finally come in teen. So before we get started, I'm going to read a message to you verbatim from Archangel Michael. The message, and for those of you that say, Nicole, you did the same intro, every reading is going to get the same intro. It's going to be very similar. It's going to be the same intro. Because there are some people that do, in fact, just watch their sun sign and then they move on. They don't watch any others. So, to make sure everybody gets the same messages, you're all going to have the same intros. If you are a person that likes to watch your sun, your moon, your rising, and you like to also cross-watch your love bug, your crush, maybe you end up watching like one of the signs. I don't know. But if you watch multiples, just skip past the intro. Go straight to the cards. But for everyone else, the intro is going to be the same. That's okay. So you can skip past it. But I am going to read this message from Archangel Michael. Because when I was praying and preparing, he kept talking about love. And I was like, hey, you want me to do love readings? I thought we were doing love readings in February. You want me to do those now? And he's like, no. And so he wanted me to write this message for all of you. So he said, love is on the minds of me this month. However, use this time wisely. This brief reprieve to tie up all of your loose ends and prepare for what is to come. This is a downtime for you to ready yourself, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, as well as ready your home and get your affairs in order, so you can make a clean break and move forward. We have much in store for you. Prepare now, because a month or so from now, you will be glad you did. Also, take time for you. Stop agreeing to obligations you neither have time for nor wish to do. This is your time. Use it wisely. Ask us for help with clearing your schedule, helping with the matters at hand, or helping you say no. Ask and we shall help. We are very excited for what's to come. You should be as well. Wish upon a star because your dreams are about to unfold. The rewards for your hard work shall begin to arrive at this time. Get ready as blessings abound unfold. We love you. You are not alone. Do not forget that. Ask and we shall show you we are with you. So, hopefully that helps give you guys some encouragement as we're at this final pivotal point. I'm not going to share what the cards are. For those of you that want to know the cards, I will post those below in the message box below. So just bottom of the deck. Okay. So just look at that. That'll let you know what cards we're using. I did pray over the cards, prepared them. I did ask that each of you receives at least one message. Hopefully you'll receive more than that. If you find for some reason, do keep in mind this is a reading for a large number of people. So if there are not, and I'll fix them when we get started, if there are not, bottom of the deck, if there are not that, if it's just not resonating with you, go ahead and check your moon, your rising sign, and you should be able to get something from those. I know, Miss Allie. Come here. And Yorkies are going to come up here and join us. There's a bottom of this deck. But there should be something in here for you. Do keep in mind, as I said, it's for a large number of people. So check your moon and rising. And you should, between all those different angles, you should find something for you. Okay. And let me make sure. I've got the camera zoomed in fairly close so that you can see the cards and the graphics. If the angels are pointing out some details for me, I will lift the cards up so that you can see the details. So, okay. Now we've got 2 Yorkies. Okay, now we're in business. So what we have is here at the bottom, we have this card. This would be, what was the purpose of the team? What was the big lesson or this thing that you learned in 18 that will be setting the foundation for you in 19? And then we have what's going to be happening in the first half of 19 for you, what will be happening in the second half of January for you. And then across the top, we have what the angels are recommending that you do this month. And of course, we have free will. You can choose to take the recommendations or not. But they love to give us recommendations, and I personally find it makes life a little easier. Okay, Saggies. So you have the middle world. Number 6. And again, this is, what was the big lesson or the thing that you learned that you were bringing forth from teen into teen? It's actually setting the foundation. This is actually a beautiful card that you have. It's the middle world. And this card is about, being in the present world, not being in the future, not being in the past, because, we can create our future. We create things from being in the present, in the current moment. You're right smack in the middle. They keep bringing up the past. They keep saying not being in the past. So, such as there's a number of you that have held on to a past person, a past situation, well beyond their expiration date. It's fine. It's something typically Scorpios do. But Saggies, you were just grabbing on and doing that. So there was this relationship, this situation that you kept trying. For many of you, it was actually a relationship. You were trying to create roots, create a foundation, create a family tree. You were trying to create a family, a solid foundation with someone. And you kept trying over and over and over, like beating your head, like insanity, trying to make this work with this person in the past. But you are being congratulated because you have finally learned that lesson and let that person go after years. Interesting, for some of you, this went on for 20+ years. It went on for years. You were not able to, if you look at this card, you see how this is just kind of dingy and greenish brown, and it's kind of like dying off, settling down. Then you've got this tree in the middle, but then you've got this looks like this vibrant flame. It's growing, it's expanding. The time has come to set your life on fire, to have the things that you desire. The only way you're able to do that, and the only reason that you have come to this point, is because you finally let the past go. You finally let them go. And because you have let them go, you are now in this key point, this key place, where things are very positive and favorable for you to move forward. And where you can move forward fearlessly, because you will, in fact, create the future that you desire. Your life will be set. They keep saying your life will be set on fire. Like you've been desiring happiness and joy. You've been wanting to create a foundation with someone that you could be proud of. You did not have pride of this situation, this relationship you were in. But you've also wanted to be filled with happiness, joy, and you were not finding that. But now you will. There's all these crows. I don't know if you can see these crows. There's all these crows. Actually, if you look closely, there's this outline of the earth right here. and then you've got the moon, then you've got all these other little planets. So you are now in between, because you are going from one way of life, one world, into the next world. You are going from one way of life where things were not happy, you were not fulfilled, into a life where all your dreams are fulfilled in all ways. Crows represent, magic and mysteries. They're despite people think that it's a negative sign, it's actually not. It's actually symbolism of luck. So you have now come to this point because in teen you finally let them go. You finally let the people go, the situation go that was not serving you. So you now have the opportunity to transform your life. You finally have the opportunity to turn your life into something magical. Connect with something magical. And it's all because you let the past go. And why are they? They're wanting to clarify the past that you let go so that there's no confusion. There is a person or people tied to this person that you have literally tried to make things work with for years and years and years and years and years. That's the past that you finally let go. You finally let her, him, them go after trying so hard for some years. Since you have finally let that go, now you're going to get the things that you want. And they are congratulating you because it was not easy for you to let that go. But now you're going to be able to build something built on a firm foundation. You'll be able to have also your roots in a firm foundation. Because they're pointing out this tree. These roots, not a tree, you don't want the roots actually sticking out, because then they can get damaged. So this relationship that you have finally released, that was toxic and was not good for you. You know how if the root of your tooth is exposed, you'll have severe pain. Severe pain. This relationship that you let go caused you severe pain. All your roots were exposed. It was very raw. It was very painful. It was very hurtful. A lot of you are rebuilding and healing so that you can trust someone, because this person or multiple people said they had betrayed your trust. But they want you to know that the person, the future that you are going to be building will withstand the test of time. The pain will subside. It is going to be, they're saying it's going to be magical. For a number of you, you're actually going to be moving forward with your twin flame. That's why they wanted me to clarify the past. Okay. So some of you are twin flames, and you will be reconnecting with your twin. Okay. But again, the foundation, since you finally let the past go, congratulations. Saggies, you need to give yourselves another pat on the back. It was not easy. You finally made it. You should do a little victory dance. Okay. So we're in what's going to be happening the first half of February. You have the strength card. Everyone is getting this strength card. Wow. There's like some final ties being cut with this person, people. Okay. So strength card. You have major arcanas, so that's good because Sagittarius, that means that a lot of this is out of your control. It's destined, it's fated, but that means you have a lot of divine help getting through these things. The strength card at the bottom, it says the grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness, time to embrace how wonderful you are. So for clarifiers, we have community, and we have unexpected income and child. Okay. So you see this group, do you see this boy? And here's this woman, she's got these flowers, and this older man. You know, this card is, it's, community can, represent obviously family, friends, a group. This is a group that you were part of. Now, for some of you, okay, for a large number of you, this is a family, a group that you were involved with because you were with this woman. Now, if this sounds like your story, sexes are opposite, go ahead and switch again. Remember, it's a general reading. To keep things clear, I'll go with what I'm being shown and told. But again, general reading, feel free to flip it if it's sounding like this is your story. But you were in a romantic relationship with this woman or man. You were embraced into the family fold because of her. Now, some of you could have just been straight family and finally the divorce is over and you're receiving settlement. You're, receiving your half of the assets. Others of you, it could be that you went into the family business. You got married, you were in a relationship with her, you went to a family business. These two, they don't appear to be a couple. She's younger than him. He's older. Could be a brother, could be a father. So for some of you, you went into business with her family. So it wasn't just marriage, relationship, love. It was hey, we're going to have this relationship. We're going to start a business. And we're going to have our monies entangled, everything entangled, our bodies and limbs entangled. But it's been this family, this group, because again, you've been trying to create this family. You've been trying to create this solid foundation with this person and their family for years. But it's finally come to an end. It's finally come to a closure. It's finally come full circle. The first half of where you are going to be receiving some unexpected monies, finances from this group. So for some of you, maybe you had properties, investment properties together, and they're finally, unexpectedly, one of them got sold. Everything went through. Bam, you're getting your half of the money. And that's the last step to finally give you closure, finally separate you from them. Or maybe you had to liquidate some assets from the marriage, the dissolution, the separation, and you're receiving your half. But that's the key thing. That's the final step of separating from this. So you can move forward into a new beginning. You have the card Child, and this is all about a new beginning, something fresh, something new. They're also saying something innocent. So for some of you, you see this card, you see how this person who's handing the money, this person, he's dressed in his finery. He's very well dressed. He's very well to do. He has these nice, large Victorian homes behind. He's giving to this person who's in need. Their sleeve is tattered. Their hands are dirty. Their hands are worn. They have dirt all around their fingers. So they're working class. So this person and or people, could have been just them, could have been them and their whole family. But for many of you, it was them and the family, made you feel less than. You're not less than. You never have been less than. Actually, in monetary purposes, you have just as much money. But they belittled you. They made you doubt yourself. They made you question yourself, because you see, these are two adults and this is a younger child standing less than. There's something that, they made you feel less than. They made you feel as though you were inferior, as though you were not on the same playing field, when in fact, the whole time you were. But somehow they got you to believe that malarkey. And they got you to believe it for a very long time, which is why you continue to stay in this group, because they were manipulating you. The manipulation tactic, if you make someone think that they're not as good, you make them think they can't get better, you can keep them stuck. And they were making you feel stuck. Making you feel as though you were coming in from a place of servitude. But there were some wrongdoings to you, which is why they're saying innocent. So they were not, oh, I dropped a card. Oh, can I get it and not upset some Yorkies? Okay. They were not innocent. There were some things that you were being lied to about, but you are fully aware of those things now. There was no innocence. But this new beginning that you will have, there is innocence. So for some of you, this new beginning with someone is someone actually from your past. That person is innocent. You know how they were saying in the beginning that some of you have trust issues? Because they did you so wrong. And some of you, maybe there's multiple people. Maybe this is indicative of you were in a couple of relationships with people that were similar, that they were both manipulative, verbally abusive, toxic, lying, not innocent, manipulating you, controlling you. And so now there's this trust issue where you're like, oh gosh, can I trust people? What are they going to do? They're saying that this person, because for a large number of you, this is love related. So this This new person, which is for a number of you, an old person whom you will have a new beginning with, they're innocent. They're saying that there were some misunderstandings. In the past, they just knocked on a window. There were some misunderstandings because of the things that have happened to you in the past with past lovers. It's made some of you like jaded, where you think, okay, well, were they really coming because they were like her and lying, or him and lying, and, can I trust them? You can trust them. There is, in fact, innocence with that person. They're saying for some of you, they didn't do the things that you think they did. But the first half of the word, they're saying that the reason that you have the Strength card is also, it is about forgiveness. But this is about forgiving yourself, because for some of you, you really are beating yourselves up like, how could I have been so foolish? How could I have stayed in that? Why? What was I thinking? But you have to forgive yourself. We go through the situations we go through because we have lessons to learn. That's how we learn what we want. That's how we learn what we don't want. For some of you, you even learned how to have your own business, and now you're going to venture off on your own. But that's why we go through those things. They're saying to not beat yourself up. You actually learned quite a few valuable things from this relationship, this partnership, and to not beat yourself up. And it's not an easy thing to do, because sometimes, like when we look and we're finally on the other side, where we're no longer pulled in by their manipulative tactics. We're no longer pulled in by whatever their tactics are. Loving, sexual kinkery, false promises, money, whatever it may be. When they no longer can use that to control us, and we can actually see the truth, we're actually sitting on the other side with no emotions for the person, because we no longer are in love with them. We no longer can be pulled into their trickery, their lies, their deception. We actually can see things for what they are. We can look at things clearly, and we can say, what in the hell was I thinking? Why? We're like, how could I have been so foolish? Like, I'm an intelligent person. Yes, Saggies, you are very intelligent. But we do things when we are in love. And when people that we think have our best interests at heart, and we think they love and care for us too, and we think they're doing the best thing for us as well, because we have the best of intentions, we would assume the best in them. So you are a good person, but you've come to the end of the road. Congratulations. They're saying the Strength, forgive yourself. For some of you, it's also this settlement, this money that you're going to be receiving. For some of you, it's a little bit less than what you anticipated. So maybe you're separating a business with this person, and you think it's going to be half and half. And then, boom, the check shows up. Maybe your properties were all sold. They divvied everything up, and maybe, he got. So for some of you, this is the assets. The finally splitting of the assets was not equally fairly split. It's less than what you were expecting. But they're saying okay, so it's twofold. So for some of you, they're saying that you need to have the strength to have this final push to stand up and say no. No, you will be giving me fair share. For others of you, however, it is because they're saying there's something really big with telling this person or these people no. Because since they have made you feel less than the whole time, they've been trying to control you to assist themselves. And since it has felt like a close-knit family, you didn't want to upset them. You didn't want to hurt them. They've known that. But the time has come for you finally stand up in your power and say, no, no, I'm not doing this for you anymore. Maybe they're going to be asking you for some money. Maybe it's actually going to be split equally. And then they're going to be like, hey, can I get me a loan? No, you don't get anything. This is your opportunity to have a clean, clear break. Saggy, take this, because it's the final piece. Like for some of you, it was actually a court battle. And this is the conclusion of it. You've signed the documents. It's over. Now this is just the monetary conclusion. Take that, move into your new beginning. It's time to move on to the new. And for some of you, the forgiveness is just to forgive them, because a lot of times people look at forgiveness like, especially with forgiving other people, but they did this to me and they did that to me. Like, say they did give you less than what you should have received. At least you're free from them. At least you're no longer going to be belittled. At least you're no longer going to be looked at as though you're an asset for them. Because for some of you, they looked at you as though you can help them with this, you can do this for them, you can do that for them, you help them monetarily. But just to be free of them and move into the future. Because it's not always easy, especially with money. Because Sagittarius, they're saying a number of you, you're concerned about the money. But you don't need to be concerned. You're going to be taken care of monetarily. So if you are getting less than you anticipated, you will be recovering that in no time. They're actually saying for a number of you, you'll have recovered that and more by the end of the year. And it doesn't always seem like it when we're going through a situation. I had a person I was with years ago, and I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And total con man manipulative. It was really bad. And but it finally got to the point that I told him, I would much rather lose everything, have to move back with parents, have to get a job at McDonald's than deal with you for one more day. And I walked away from all of it. And I did recoup a chunk of money. Years later, he got to give me dollars. And granted, I never recovered all the money that I was lost, but you would never know that I took that hit. You would never have any clue because God provided for me. God allowed me to take that hit. I was the one walking away tattered, lost a whole lot of stuff in pride, but to get out of that toxic, abusive, it was a horrible situation. To get out of that, I left him tattered. I was done. I was out. But I recovered everything. And you would never know. And a healed heart. And Sagittarius, you guys are going to be able to do the exact same thing. Don't worry if there's a slight, because for those of you that it is a slight monetary loss, it's just a slight monetary loss. Money's money. You're going to get it back. Don't worry about that. Don't allow people to treat you like this. And don't allow a little bit of money loss keep you stuck in something like this, because you have a blessed new beginning ahead of you. So, first half of January, you're getting this money. You're being set free. You're moving forward in your next journey, which is going to be beautiful. I'm going to move this here. I'm going to move these down. I'm going to move these over a second. So you have two cards for the second half of the year. We've got Renew. It's a major arcana. At the bottom, it says review the past and the present so you can plan a bright new future, understanding your life purpose, releasing judgments of yourself, again, forgiving yourself and others. Then you've got this card in the Sun. You've got him bulldozing through this wall. At the bottom, it says plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. Now, for the second half of the year, you are being encouraged to do some healing work. We're going to go ahead and tie this in a little bit to this card. We're going to skip ahead, Saggies. You guys are fast learners. You're good. You'll be able to keep up. So you see he's got this scroll. He's writing things down. So for some of you, you're going to finally break free of this toxic relationship. You're like, bam, I'm stepping into this new path, which is even shown. This card from the bottom of this deck was the Sweat Lodge. And it shows this person walking into the new. This is all dark. It's all dead. It's all dingy, dusty. Nope, into something new, something bright. Something filled with the happiness that you've been seeking for so long, but yet it has eluded you. Now to get to that point, and Evan's going to go off here in a second. To get to that point, Saggies, it does require a little bit of inner healing. You have been doing a lot of healing work. They are congratulating you on that. But there is some healing. I'm going to remove this mic real quick. Okay. Thank you for your patience, Saggies. We're back. We're going to get you wrapped up. So, second half of January. He's writing. So one of the things that's going to help you, that the angels are recommending that you do this second half, we're finally done with this chapter. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Do a victory dance. It would be beneficial for you to write some forgiveness letters. Because for some of you, there are forgiveness letters for yourself that need to be written. Because for some of you, you are very critical of yourself. Not only because you're questioning, why did I do that? Why did I stay in that for so long? Why was I that foolish? Yada, yada, yada. But also because since you were made to feel less than, because you were talked down to, because they made you feel less than. At some point along the way, in this relationship, they didn't make you feel good. So write a forgiveness letter. They're encouraging you to write a forgiveness letter for yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for things you did, things that you didn't do. Because you need to remember how amazing you are. And so by forgiving, letting that stuff go, you'll be able to heal that part, to step back into your power. Some of you also, it would benefit you to write forgiveness letters to that person or those people, because that is going to clear the energy with them so that you can move forward. Because you do have a bright future ahead of you. Because after you write the letters, there's something that you need to communicate with someone from the past to lead to your happiness. But you're not communicating. They keep pointing out this horn. Okay. So, we have adjudication, the official person, and lovers. Now, obviously, adjudication, this can talk about a decision being made in court, a judgment, a determination. But this card also can be talking about like discussions that can clarify things in order to help us resolve a situation. Or in this instance, a misunderstanding. You know, they were saying earlier that there was a person from your past. For some of you, the twin flame from the past that's going to be coming back, where there was a misunderstanding. Guess what? They're back. They're going to be coming back. They're going to be coming back because you're going to be reaching out to them. But before you do that, you are being encouraged to do these forgiveness letters. Some of you, there also needs to be a forgiveness letter with this person, because you see these two people, they are not looking at each other. They are looking straight ahead. They are both rigid, tense. You see how she's wearing green? So for some of you, you left her to go back to her. You were with her, you went back, you were with her. But you've been with her for years. There was this family dynamic thing for years. But she knew there was someone else. She knew that you weren't being honest. But there's been multiple misunderstandings and things there. They keep pointing out these bunnies. Bunnies are all about, fertility. For some of you, there may even be some misunderstandings about a child. And if you did lose a child at some point, Saggies, apologies for that. I know how painful that can be. Twin and I lost a child, 12, and that is a very difficult, heartbreaking thing to go through. And I'm sorry if you've had to go through that. But there are some of you that did go through that with them, with her, with him. And it was not, because it was a mutual loss for both of you, and it was not communicated. So there are still some things that need to be communicated between the two of you about that. But there's also this, these forgiveness letters, because some of you Saggies are going to be writing multiple forgiveness letters. You might be writing like 8 of them, but you're going to be writing a forgiveness letter to her. And when it comes to forgiveness letters, you write a forgiveness letter. So you'll write everything good, bad, ugly, and different about the relationship. And you get all your emotions out on the paper. And then at the end, you write this little statement about forgiving. I'll type it up and put it down below. And if I forget, leave a comment. I'll come back and type it up. It'll be late when I finish these. But, and then you call and you ask God, Jesus, the angels, call on your divine team to help you come and release that information, release that energy. And then what you do is you read the letter out loud. It may make you cry, it may upset you. Then you rip the letter, because the ripping the letter, that's cutting those ties. And it's not just, because sometimes people are afraid to do that, especially if they're writing letters to their twin flame, because they're afraid, well, I don't want to lose the connection. Your twin flame's you, they're your other half. You're never going to lose your connection to them. You have telepathic communications with them. You feel them. Ripping up the letter is not going to disconnect you from them. What that disconnects you from is from that toxic energy from the past, from the misunderstandings from the past, from the hurt from the past that keeps you to not wanting to look at each other in the eyes. So the hurt and the pain from the past, you've disconnected that energy. You've cut that. We're not going to have life like that anymore. We're going to have life like this. You rip it. Then you burn it. That transmutes the energy. Then you dump it on the ground. I will put the directions below. Some of you would be benefiting from, we are going to go ahead and skip to that healer again, writing a forgiveness letter to your father, to your mother, to this ex-lover, maybe the whole posse. There's a whole family dynamic, business dynamic. Write letters. You always want to write forgiveness letters to each of your parents separately, to anyone you have been sexually intimate with, because you need to cut that energy and such to move forward in life. And also, even though for a number of you, this is the person that you want to be with and you will be with, but that energy from the past needs to be cleared, and that's going to clear the path for you to have physical communications with them. Write a forgiveness letter for them. And then if there's anyone else that's really just done you wrong, write a forgiveness letter for them. But what that does is that heals, that clears the energy, that opens, that shifts things, that shifts the dynamics. So then you'll even feel the energy with her or him that suddenly it's not so tense, because you have things that have not been communicated, things that have not been shared. There have been a lot of misunderstandings. You were, however, both coming from a place of innocence. You see this card, the Sun, he's innocent. He's sharing, he's bearing his chest. He doesn't have anything to hide. But because things weren't communicated, because for some of you, you were still holding on to this other person or tied to this person. Maybe you were married and you weren't telling them. But because of that, the truth wasn't shared. And when we don't know the truth, we're humans. We fill it in with whatever ugly stories our brain can fill it in with. And it's usually not the best stuff. Write a forgiveness letter. It's going to clear the energy. This official person, who knows, maybe that person's the military. But this card's not just talking about military officers or police officers or people in uniform. Because they're saying it's not a person. This would be like an energy. So with regards to this relationship, this was a relationship, military officers, they're very formal. They're very, I don't want to say rigid, but they're very tense. They're very formal. There's ceremony, there's pomp and circumstance. The relationship that you had with her or him, there was formality. It was stiff. There was restraint. There was restraint because you were not opening up and sharing how you felt. You were not opening up and sharing the truth. They also were not opening up and sharing the truth. They could tell there was someone else there. They could tell for some of you that you were not all in. So for some of you, maybe this was some business thing. Maybe it wasn't tied to love, although none of you was tied to love. But for that, maybe this was just some business. You chose work over them. But they knew you were not choosing them. They knew you were not all in. So since they knew you were not all in, they weren't going to be all in either. If you're not going to show me your cards, I'm not going to show you mine. When you show me yours, I'll show you mine. You weren't showing your cards. You weren't sharing how you felt. Well, they weren't going to share theirs either. So now you've come to this place where there's all these misunderstandings. So what they're saying is, because again, these two cards are about second half anywhere. So second half, if you can get into that time, and you can take the time to do this last bit of healing. You can do these forgiveness letters. You can also do some visualizations of, okay, I've done all forgiveness letters. That's the key thing that you need to do that the angels are recommending that they're talking about. But the next thing you can also just write down. Here's what I would like. Here's my wish list, God. I'm going to put in order. But once you've done they're pointing out these birds. So it's kind of like in a step, kind of like progression. Once you do these little forgiveness letters, you put some pen to paper, write your forgiveness letters, then you're going to be able to communicate. You're going to be able to have that conversation. That's actually a butterfly. It's going to then transform this into this. So you write your letters. That transmutes the energy. That takes the two of you from being rigid, informal, unable to speak. That takes you into this conversation, into this discussion where you can knock down the barriers, you can knock down the walls, you can share the truth. You see, he's playing this horn. He's playing the horn. Now, in this one, he doesn't have the horn up to his mouth yet. He hasn't communicated anything yet. Haven't communicated anything yet because you're still internally communicating things. You're still looking at the past like, oh gosh, yeah, she's the one, he's the one. Okay, I need to let this funk go so I can move forward. So this is the internal piece, and then bam, you're busting out into the part where you're communicating. You're reaching out to her. You're reaching out to him. Because they are, in fact, your happiness that you've been seeking. And then this formality, this rigidness, this not sharing your innermost desires and thoughts and feelings, that will be gone. Both of you will finally, the wall will be broken for both of you, and you'll both be able to share how you feel. You'll share your emotions. And for those of you that are twin flames, you'll find, actually, they want me to challenge you. They want me to challenge you. Do your forgiveness letters. And then they're saying 3 to 4 days later. So they're saying before you do your forgiveness letters, because you have telepathic communications with your twin, you already know that. So but right before you write your forgiveness letter, you can do it the day you're going to write it. Tap into her, tap into him, and ask them how they feel about you. Well, just tap into them and ask them how they're doing. See how they respond to you. because they're always going to tell you they love you. You're twins. Of course they're going to tell you they love you. But they're still not going to be pleased with you. They're still going to be upset. You'll know that. I remember years ago, my twin, I didn't even know he was picking up telepathic communications with me yet. He was the first one to admit it because he's like, you know, you're really not happy with me. I hear your thoughts a lot and you're really not happy at all with me. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So twins also can't lie to each other. So when you get ready to write that letter, call in him, call in her. Ask them how they're doing. See how they're responding to you. You'll find they're rigid. You'll find they're formal. You'll find that they're uncomfortable because there's that underlying hurt. Because really when someone's angry, it's just because there's hurt, there's pain. They feel betrayed. And you'll see that. But it's okay. Because then you're going to write your forgiveness letters. You're going to do them all. Get all your forgiveness letters in. And about 3 or 4 days later, call them in again. Look at their body language. You'll find they're no longer rigid. They're more open to you. Because what the forgiveness letters are so powerful. They will completely transform the energy. And that is what's going to lay the foundation, Saggies, for you to come in and physically then have that conversation so you can move forward. So you can have this happiness. Because the Sun card is all about fulfillment. The Sun card is about blessings, joyful celebrations, finally embracing and having the blessings, the things, the miracles. This happened to be on the bottom of the other deck that they had me pull out. Embracing the miracles. You do have miracles coming your way. You have more than what you dreamed of. At the bottom of the other deck, you had 2 of Autumn. What? Hold on a second. To me. This one? Okay. So for some of you, Saggies, they told me to pick the card that was on the top of the deck. So this card upright, this would be 7 of Cups. Now this is talking, you can see here on the bottom, confusion from overanalyzing the options. So in the past, if you look at the traditional tarot deck, it's got this person, they're looking at all these cups because they're like, ooh, I want them all, I want them all. Ooh, they're all so nice, they're all so shiny, I don't know what I want. So maybe for some of you, you couldn't decide between multiple partners. Do I want her? Do I want her? Ooh, but she's pretty too. Ooh, and I like the way that looks on her. You couldn't decide what you wanted. You did not know what you wanted. You were here. I don't know. I want them all. Can I have them all? Ooh, I don't know. But it's reversed. You have finally come out of that. You have finally come to the point of making a decision. The beautiful thing about this 2 of Autumn, which is 2 of Coins, this is about creating something, making a choice and creating something with someone that is built on a solid foundation. And that, Saggies, is what you have set up for yourself from the work that you did in team. Okay, last ones when you get wrapped up. You, I think, are like the longest one. Typically, Scorpios are the longest. Healing, forgiveness letters. That's the main thing with that. They're helping you with everything else. Now, for some of you, you feel guided to go see an energy healer. There may be some, for some of you, Reiki. For some of you, sound healing with sound healing bowls, crystal bowls. There might be an actual. Sometimes they'll have these concerts, these sound healing concerts where someone will play sound healing bowls. It's very relaxing, good thing to go to and through. Some of you haven't had the experience. That's something that would be beneficial for you. Or shaman. They're saying trust your intuition. Those of you, and it's there's not many of you because most of you, the big healing's already done, which is why you're able to finally release this toxic person situation. And they're commending you on that. That is awesome. You're finally over it and done. That took a lot of healing work. So it's a very small number of you. So those of you that do feel guided, ask them to guide you as to who you should go see. They will. You can go with healing work with them. The other card you have is ask Archangel Michael to help you with this situation. And at the bottom there's a prayer. Archangel Michael, thank you for assisting me with, describe the situation. Please help me be filled with faith and peace at all times. So for a number of you, you are very concerned about having this conversation, this discussion, because if you see here, Archangel Michael, he's holding up this sword. And in traditional tarot, swords are all about communications, cutting through the BS, sharing the truth. You are fearful how this conversation is going to go. It is going to go beautifully. But ask Archangel Michael. He's going to give you the courage to have the conversation, because some of you might chicken out right beforehand, like, I don't know if I can do it. Another reason to tap into their higher self, for those of you that are twins. But ask him to help give you the strength and the confidence to have that discussion, to know that all is well, because it will be. Okay, so go ahead, Saggies, think of a question. If there's something that was not answered during the reading, or just a question that you have, go on ahead and think of that question. I'm going to pull an angel answer card for you real quick. We'll read the book, and you all will be in for you. You have get more information. So give me a second. Let me get the book. And on the bottom of the deck, just for those of you that are curious, you're ready. Okay, Saggies. Get more information. Again, apologies. Well, you got to wait for 2 minutes while I pull dinner out of the oven. I probably will not have to edit it. So, but you're the last ones before dinner. And you didn't have to hear my stomach grumble, so that's good. Okay. For those of you that are wondering, they're pointing out this white dove. White doves are all about communications. You all are going to be having a lot of communications and things cleared up this month. But the mom, get more information. The situation you're asking about requires more information in order for you to make a wise decision. Approach those knowledgeable about the topic to solicit their advice. If there are friends or family members in your midst who have insight into the matter, ask for their observations. You need to do some analytical research in order to get the data you need. This could include reading books, taking classes or seminars, or gathering information from the internet. Typically, they just let you take these cards for what they are. I don't know what your questions are. If there's thousands of you, you have different questions. But for some of you, what they're saying is, you see how his arms are open? Be open to new information, because for some of you, because of your past histories with love and such, and because things were not communicated with the person you'll be going back to, there is this fear. There is this preset belief that, okay, well, what if they did this to me? Or what if they did that to me? You know, what if I can't be trusted? You don't have all the information, Saggies. Just as there were things that were happening with you and this other person, these other people, that she or he were not aware of, it's not as bad as what they think it is. So what you've done is not as bad as what they're envisioning it to be. It's the same on the other end of the aisle. What you think they did is not as bad as you imagine. So allow yourself to be open. That's why they were mentioning the dove. Okay. So I paused because they were talking about this dove and communication. See how his hands are open up and this dove's in the middle? The dove's all about communication, and the dove is shining bright. Pure information, pure communications, honest communications. Be open to the honest communications. They will be truthful. You'll be truthful. Be open to receiving this new information, because it will set you free. So hopefully that helps all of you. Again, Happy New Year. Welcome to 19. I do wish you all a lot of love, joy, and blessings.